All right, guys, welcome back to another video. We got this pretty cool announcement yesterday, and it has to do with the Xbox Series X getting Xbox console wraps. As you can see here in the picture, starting off here with a special edition Starfield console wrap. They're putting out these wraps, 3 of them to start, that will be releasing on October 18th, 2023 for $50 in the United States, Canada, and in Europe. Got the 2 camouflage ones here, as you can see, the woodland camo and the Arctic camo, and then there is this special edition Starfield wrap. Basically, they're just these things that you put around. There's silicone designs, and they have a flap in the back that connect. Doesn't block the vents in the back, so you will still see your original Xbox Series X for the majority of it in the actual back of the console, but it just gives your console this interesting, different, unique look. And I think this is a great idea. This brings me back to the Xbox 360 days with the swappable faceplates, and I thought that was awesome. We kind of missed that with the Xbox One, where there was really no customization, no way to kind of make the console yourself. You could get like the third-party skins and all of that type of stuff, but there wasn't something like this that's going to be widely available for everybody, and I'm sure they're going to continue to bring more out. It would be really cool to see if every time a first-party game drops, they brought a new console wrap out. Like, I would love to see a Forza Motorsport one as well. I'm surprised that that hasn't been announced with this announcement here, and then in the future, all the other games that do come out. That'd be super cool. And this kind of gives the people who want that special edition Starfield console at least the ability to make it look like it is a special edition. Obviously, it isn't the exact same. I actually have the Halo Infinite special edition Xbox Series X, and it looks phenomenal. So I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up one of these wraps to cover that. People definitely were looking and hoping to get a Starfield special edition console, but instead they gave us the headset, the controller, and then you have that Constellation edition, which just looks awesome with the watch and everything. Seems like a very premium edition. I actually have that coming. Can't wait to get my hands and see what that's all about. We'll probably be doing an unboxing video for those who don't have it and kind of want to see what it's all about. But I love this idea. It brings us back to the Xbox 360 days, allows people to customize their console, and it's very easy. This isn't the wraps where you put something on it and you're kind of stuck with that. This is just an easy silicone thing that goes around, and $50. And then you have your own customized Xbox Series X. We'll see what else comes out in the future, but here's a start. And again, this is a little thing, but people love this stuff. You remember the Xbox 360 faceplates? I had tons of Xbox 360 faceplates, and I would always switch them out. So cool to see that this is happening. Now, obviously, Starfield and this wrap here is going to probably be the most popular one at launch, and there may be more people looking to get these for their Xbox Series X's, as we have this article here, and it says Starfield type players are reportedly returning their PlayStation 5's at GameStop to get an Xbox ahead of September, it is claimed. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because obviously this isn't like a huge amount of data that they're taking from all the GameStops around the United States or around North America to get these results, but it does say this: Starfield is making a lot of noise just ahead of release. The Xbox exclusive is dropping next month, and it's already topping several charts. The game has generated so much hype that it has allegedly given Microsoft an edge in the console rivalry as well. A report by a GameStop manager has claimed that fans are returning their PlayStation 5 consoles to get Xbox consoles ahead of Starfield's launch. With the console wars not showing any signs of ending anytime soon, Starfield's craze may be the ace of spades that Xbox needs. So this is just a single GameStop manager. Maybe it's solely in that GameStop that this is happening. It may not be widespread, but the reality is, I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see a major uptick of people going out and buying an Xbox just to play Starfield, even just buying an Xbox Series S. It will be very interesting to see when these reviews come out, how stable this game runs on the Series S as well as the Series X. Series X is the expectations is that it will run very, very well. I think it will run very well on the Series S as well. There's always those narratives going around about the Series S and how it holds back this generation, which it's hilarious to say, because you look at overall the Series S so far, And there have been far more positive news stories about the Series S in terms of how games run versus the negative news stories. But whenever there is a random person who works in the gaming industry that comes out and says the Series S is holding back this generation, people love to jump all over it and make it way bigger than it is. And I think the Series S is going to fly off shelves for Starfield because of the price of it. And since we're talking about the Series S, we might as well stay on the topic here. And another very positive news story about the Series S is a little beast. It is awesome for the price that you're getting. We have the performance of Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon on console and PC. So the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are going to be running at 2160p, 60 frames per second. And then you have a $200 console running a brand new AAA game this generation, Xbox Series S, 1440p at 60 frames per second. So there is another thing. You're going to see a lot less people talking about this versus when this random person comes out and says that the Series S is holding back the generation. When again, if you just sit back and you look at the overall amount of games this generation so far that have come out that run very well in the Series S, it greatly outweighs the negative stuff that comes out. And you can see the big advantage of having the Series S over even the Xbox One X. You are getting that 60 frames per second. On the One X, it is 30 frames per second at 2160p. On the PS4 Pro, it's 1800p at 30 frames per second. On the Xbox One, 900p at 30 frames per second, PS4 1080p at 30 frames per second, and the PC can go all the way up to 2160p and 120 frames per second. Obviously, that's all going to depend on your rig. So this is just another very positive story here for the Xbox Series S, and it is a great console, great value, and we will continue to see more stuff like this. It comes down to, at the end of the day, in my opinion, the resources and the time that the developers actually want to spend optimizing games for the platforms. There are many different platforms out there. I mean, we see what's going on with Baldur's Gate 3, where they essentially came out and admitted the reason why they are delaying the Xbox version of this game is because they can't get split screen running properly on the Series S yet. But it's not because of the Series S. It is because of the fact that they didn't have enough resources and time, and they didn't dedicate enough resources and time to get it running properly on the Xbox Series S. They blatantly came out and said that, and then Xbox sends over their advanced technology team to go and help them out and get it running. So Series S is great. I love it. I still play it all the time. Got the X, got the S, but it's just when you connect it to a monitor, you get games up to 120 FPS, even like if you're getting like 100 FPS or 90 FPS, depending on what first person shoot you're getting. It is a great experience for, again, the price that you're paying for the Xbox Series S. Now let's jump over here. This is a game that I played last week, and I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I wasn't going, because I've never really played too many games like this, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. So I wasn't expecting too much of it. I thought I was going to go on there, play a match or two just to see what it was all about and then stop playing. But I enjoyed it, had a great time. And it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that released on Xbox Game Pass. And when I first jumped in, it said there was a 5-minute wait time to get into a match. Now it kind of throws you off because it says that, but you literally find a match in like 30 seconds or so. So when I first saw the 5-minute wait time, I was thinking, wow, nobody is playing this game. And that couldn't be any more further from the truth. And it is another example as to how Game Pass can propel these games to get tons of people checking them out that maybe would have never checked them out. I'm one of those people that if this wasn't on Game Pass, I probably would have never played it. And we have this report here that they've actually hit over 1 million players in the 24 hours since the launch, which is a huge number for people checking out the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I would say that the biggest reason it's hit 1 million players is because it did launch into Xbox Game Pass. It's another example that I think people are going to look at this. Developers, publishers, they are going to look at this as a case study as to whether they want to put their game onto Xbox Game Pass. And I feel like for games like this, for games that could do decent, but won't reach 1 million players maybe at any point, they will go ahead and contact Xbox, and Xbox will be able to make a deal with them to get the game onto the service. So pretty cool here to see that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre hit 1 million players. And as somebody who didn't think that they were going to like this game at all, I'm happy to see it thriving, and we'll see how this game continues to expand. My only, I guess, gripe with this game so far has been the content a little bit, maybe some more maps there. And I think it will continue to expand, and I will continue to play it and check it out. Now, when it comes again to Starfield, I mean, this is going to be the hottest topic for the next couple of months, next year, next 10 years, who knows? There was one thing that people were worried about, and that was localization, so that other people in different areas, other countries, other regions will be able to play and understand the game. Windows Central put out this article. I forget when the original one was put out, but it was a while back, and it was updated today because Starfield is coming through on a localization. This is the original headline of the article. Starfield does have a major problem, and it's not the Xbox frame rate. As Microsoft pledges for greater localization are still falling short. And we got an update today specifically that the game is being localized in Arabic nations and in Korea. It says, since writing this critique of Microsoft's localization efforts with Starfield, Bethesda has posted a job listing hunting localization producers for our friends in the Arabic nations and in Korea, which is great to see, because obviously this game is going to have worldwide reach. It isn't just going to be English speaking countries that are going to want to play Starfield. It's going to have worldwide reach. It's going to be a generational RPG. At least that's what I'm expecting it to be. I hope I've said that like 3 or 4 times over the last week or so in my videos. I hope this game doesn't come out and it's bad and I look like an absolute idiot, but I highly doubt that, especially with some of the hints that we are seeing from people who have the game, that we know have the game with review codes, and are saying it looks like this game is living up to the expectations. So it's going to be a generational RPG. People are going to love it, and everybody around the world is going to want to play it. So this localization thing is a huge deal, especially in Korea, in the Arabic nations where people are going to be jumping in. So cool to see that Xbox is taking this seriously, and that people in those places will be able to play and understand the game as they are playing through it. Now we'll just jump over here. A couple of other smaller things to talk about. There was this announcement here, which I found very curious. Atari, I guess, is jumping into the console wars again. We know they had the Atari VCS, which was a crowd-funded retro console. Essentially, it was just a PC where you could just put apps on it and stuff. And I think it did okay for what it was. They actually created it and shipped it out to customers, which alone with these retro consoles that have been announced recently is a huge success. If you think about the Intellivision Amico, where I was actually kind of excited for that, until I realized relatively fast that it was never going to come to fruition, and it still hasn't come to fruition. That's because Intellivision is one of the first consoles I ever got introduced, because I wasn't around during that time, but my dad had an original Intellivision, and then he showed me his original Intellivision. So I was actually kind of excited for the Amico, and too bad that it turned out to be an abysmal failure. But Atari is teasing this. It says incoming, and I'm surprised because the Atari VCS did come out a few years ago, I believe. And it looks like they're teasing another console of some sort, or maybe it's a mini console or anything like that. You go down here into the comments and someone says Atari 50 DLC. Atari responds, a bit bigger than that. A new Atari flashback console. Atari responds, bigger. So I'm thinking at this point it is potentially another Atari console that they are going to be putting out, which will be interesting to see how it does, how many people actually want to play this game or play this console, how many people would want to pre-order it and all that type of stuff. So let me know in the comments below. It may not be that. It could be something completely different, but just the fact that they're showing the console here in this tease makes me believe that it will be something along those lines. But let me know in the comments below if this is something at all you would be interested in checking out in terms of another retro type of console. I do like my retro consoles. I actually have the Analog Pocket, which is the handheld version where you play like Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that. So I do like that stuff, but I don't think I would be interested in an Atari console, as I was interested in the Atari VCS. Again, let's talk about a bit more about Gamescom and Starfield and Xbox and everything. This is some pictures of their main stage, their booths. This is the biggest Xbox show ever at Gamescom. We've seen some stuff here with the advertising and where we're going to see streams, I'm sure, and interviews and a look at the games that are playable there and stuff like that. What is cool though is that they actually have an entire bus dedicated to Starfield. Now, Starfield isn't playable at Gamescom, but there is a presentation for it during the Xbox show, so keep your eyes open for that. But a huge thing here where they are going to be highlighting Starfield. And then this is the booth. This thing is massive. If you are at Gamescom, you're pretty lucky, especially if you're an Xbox fan, as there is going to be tons of stuff to check out and tons of stuff to play. But I will leave the video there, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this, on everything that I've talked about in this video. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.